Hey there, everybody. It's me, Lily Rose, the admin here at Encouragement Corner. And I'm hopping on today, and we are done with the Book of Lamentations. And as promised, we are going to take a look at the events leading up to Jesus' death and resurrection and dig in a little bit and find out some details and some correlations with the Old Testament that are fulfilled here in just a few small chapters. The events that led up to the crucifixion of Jesus are directly paralleled to the prophecies about the Messiah as a suffering servant in the Old Testament. And so as we read these, I will try my best to give you the reference, the book and the chapter and the verse as to where you can find it in the Old Testament, okay? The first one we're going to look at is Judas agreeing to betray Jesus. And I'm reading from the account in Matthew chapter 26. And it says, "Then one of the 12, the one called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests and asked, 'What are you willing to give me if I deliver him over to you?' So they counted out for him 30 pieces of silver. From then on, Judas watched for an opportunity to hand him over." When we read this, it's important to know a few things. One, it's for 30 pieces of silver, which was the equivalent to the price of a slave, which we can find in Exodus chapter 21, verse 32. That 30 pieces of silver was the price of a slave, so not a whole lot. Zechariah also wrote about this price in Zechariah 11, 12 to 13. So 30 pieces of silver was not a very large sum of money in that era. And in Matthew, Judas' story provides a stark contrast to the verse preceding his betrayal in Matthew 26, 6 to 13, which I'm going to read now because I find it very interesting. So, while Jesus was in Bethany, we're in 26 verse 6. While Jesus was in Bethany in the home of Simon the leper, a woman came to him with an alabaster jar, a very expensive perfume, which she poured on his head as he was reclining at the table. When the disciples saw this, they were indignant. "Why the waste?" they asked. "This perfume could have been sold at a high price." So now we're seeing a high price, "and the money given to the poor." Aware of this, Jesus said to them, "Why are you bothering this woman? She has done a beautiful thing to me. The poor you will always have with you, but you will not always have me. When she poured this perfume on my body, she did it to prepare me for burial. Truly, I tell you, wherever this gospel is preached throughout the world, what she has done will also be told in memory of her." And so here we're seeing the stark opposite, where Judas is selling him out for such a small amount. This woman, Mary, is anointing him with what would probably be in that day her entire dowry, which is what they would give for a future husband, right? Her entire future on the line, and she's pouring it over Jesus, while Judas just turns against Jesus for such a small price. So as we're reading these things, I want to pop up and pull these visuals and cues into perspective so that we can see the importance of these events that are occurring, from anointing to betrayal to next it will be the Last Supper, and what we can learn and glean and how we can find things that back it up from the Old Testament, said so many years before, now occurring in the New. I hope that you will enjoy this journey with us through the Easter season. Bye.